Can we beat Justin from Horsepower Obsessed in my wife's grocery getter? Justin, I'm calling you out. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about a car that I have not introduced to you guys yet, and that is the Tesla Model Y that is behind me.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Yeah. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat.
So this Model Y is actually my wife's car, so I'm very familiar with it. I look at it every single day, and there's a couple things I want to talk about with this. Number one is obviously some of the modifications that we did to it. You can see that it is a matte black finish, or a satin black, and the reason for that is it's wrapped in XPEL Stealth. So if you're not familiar with what that product is, it is a clear protective film, just like the regular XPEL paint protection film, but it's a satin finish. So the factory color that the car is going to show through, but it will have a satin finish. We wrapped every painted piece of this. The roof is of course glass in these cars, if you don't know that, and so it stays a gloss black. We also ceramic coated the car with XPEL Fusion Plus, and we tinted the windows with XPEL Prime XR. That's a ceramic tint to block heat. And last but not least, we blacked out the badges. We vinyl wrapped those, and normally we tell our customers we won't vinyl wrap badges because they're just too sharp and pointy, and we don't like to get into 6 months later, it's failing, stuff like that. But on your own car, if it fails 6 months later, no big deal, we rewrap it. The main reason I want to talk to you guys about this car is if you've been watching our channel for any length of time, you understand that I love cars. I love fast cars, I love horsepower, I like to go fast, blow the tires off of stuff, do donuts, you name it. I like that. This car will not do really any of that other than the fast part. It is fast, and we'll talk about that, but I absolutely love this. So it's sort of opposite of what you would expect from somebody that, you know, is into Hellcats and Porsches and Lamborghinis, but I love it, and I'm gonna go over sort of why that is the case. And we've had this car for about 6 months now. It's sort of our family vehicle. When we need to go places with the kid, this is the car that we take. If we don't have the kid, we're taking something else though. So I do like it, but not quite as much as the gas-powered stuff. So the main reason we decided to buy this car has nothing to do with the energy efficiency and the green stuff, and all of that stuff is wonderful, all the eco-friendly stuff, that's great, but the main reason is we just like them. We think that they're cool. We've spent a lot of time in them in the shop. My wife really liked the simplicity of the interior and the dashboard, and it was just one of those things that, hey, this is different, let's give it a shot. So I also have a Cybertruck on order, so if they ever do actually build those things, we're gonna have another Tesla in the stable. So why do I love the Model Y? If it's not for the green stuff and it's nothing like I normally love, I love two main things about it. Number one, I love the weirdness. It's so different. It actually gets, I think, more comments and looks than even my GT4 does when you're at gas stations and things like that. People are coming up and asking you about it all the time. Now, if you're from a big city, if you live in LA or New York or something, you probably see Teslas all the time, but we live in a really small town in rural Pennsylvania and nobody sees them. So they're getting more and more popular, but people are very, very curious about them. I've taken people for some rides just because they really want to experience what it's like to ride in an electric car. So I like that aspect of it. Another part of the reason has nothing to do with the car and has everything to do with Elon Musk and his company that he is building. I'm an entrepreneur. I love the American dream. I love the grind and the hustle and the craziness to build something. And Elon is the king of that. If you read anything about that guy, whether you love him or hate him, you can't argue that he is not the hardest worker probably in the country. The guy works crazy hours. He's one of the richest men in the world and never takes a vacation. I love it. Absolutely love it. So he has built something really, really cool. It's American made. I love to support things that are made in the country. So that's a big part of the reason behind the Tesla as well. So driving it is a whole different weird experience from a normal car. The first thing, and my wife's always yelling at me because she drives it all the time. She's very used to it. I'm still not used to the regenerative braking. Every time I let off the gas to coast, it pulls you forward. I don't like that, if I'm being honest, but I think once you get used to it, it's probably not that bad. My wife seems to not mind it one bit anymore. Another reason, it's not a real big part of the reason that I bought the car, if I'm being honest, but it's definitely a nice perk, is the safety of the car. So it is rated as one of the top 5 safest cars for 2021. The Model 3 is rated that way at least, and this is built on the same platform, so this would perform the same. So obviously when you're carrying around an infant, I have a 1-year-old son at this point, and it's nice to know that in the event that something horrible happens, at least we're in the safest car we can be in. I still don't fully understand the controls. So every time I get in it, that messes with me a little bit. Again, once you get more used to the car and you're driving it every day, I think that kind of stuff would go away. So there's a lot of really neat features in this operating system. Basically, you're driving a computer with wheels. It's not even really a car. For those of you not familiar with it, this is the key. If you have it connected to your phone, you don't need this at all, but I always have this, and you just tap it behind the cup holder, and that's what starts the car, even though you don't know that anything happened because nothing changes. Now it's available to drive. Last but certainly not least, for me, is the performance of this thing. Now, we didn't even get the performance model. This is the long range model because my wife's just going to use it for daily commuting, driving around town, that kind of stuff. And the thing is just ridiculously fast for being a SUV, $50,000 price range. I feel like it would rival the acceleration almost of my GT4. It's weird. And I know the performance models are significantly faster. The Model S with ludicrous mode and now the Plaid that just came out, these things are wicked fast. And the thing that's weird about it, if you are a car guy and you've never driven one, the first time you drive it, it will sort of freak you out. It doesn't shift. There's no transmission, so it just keeps pulling you. You're expecting sort of that shift point. Even really fast shifting cars like a Lamborghini Huracan Performante or a Turbo S with the PDK transmission, you can feel the shift. There's something there, even when it's shifting in a half of a second, but this, there's just nothing. And the silence of it, you're used to sort of the violence of the exhaust revving up to 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 RPMs. This, there's nothing. It's just like a weird, peaceful launch into somewhere else. I can't wait to drive the Plaid. Very excited to try that. There is one major downfall to this car that I have discovered, and I'm sure many Tesla enthusiasts are going to tell me that I'm just spoiled and this is stupid, but I absolutely hate that you can't drive this for more than a couple hundred miles before you need to charge it at a charging station. Even a supercharger, it sucks. I can pull over with my Hellcat, with my Porsche, with my truck. I can put gas or diesel in the tank, and a couple minutes later, I'm back on the road. By the time I go in and buy a snack or a Red Bull and come back out, the car's filled up. This thing, you have to sit. I love road trips, so that is definitely a deal breaker for me. If I had to buy a car and only have one car, I would not buy a Tesla right now because sitting and waiting for this thing to charge is just completely inconvenient. And my wife had to do it once with the baby in the car, which is something that you may not think about until you're sitting there with a baby in the car and it's taking, 40 minutes or whatever it is to charge it. Even if it's 15 or 20 minutes and you're just sitting there, it's annoying. With that being said, my overall opinion of the car is that it is absolutely fantastic. Tesla has done a phenomenal job. Yeah, there's some fit and finish issues, there's some quality control issues, but it's so fast. It's so fast. It's awesome. But like I said, there's some quality control, some fit and finish issues, dumb things like that. But really, that doesn't really bother me. It's a growing company. You know when you're buying it what you're signing up for. It's not absolutely perfect, but the technology in it is really incredible. From 40 miles an hour. It's just a different kind of fast. Now handling, it handles really well too. All the weight on these cars is in the bottom because that's where the batteries are. So you can really drive these things. I'd like to get one on a track. I know the batteries get hot and all that stuff, and the performance, I guess, sort of wanes at that point, but it would be a blast. I think we should race this against the GT4. What do you guys think? Should we race the GT4 and the C8? Can we beat Justin from Horsepower Obsessed in my wife's grocery getter? Justin, I'm calling you out. Let us know what you guys think about the Tesla content. If you want to see more of the Tesla, I know there's a million Tesla channels out there, but we sort of have a unique perspective, I think, coming from super obsessed with other cars, engine-powered cars. One thing I forgot to mention, we also protected the center console. So she didn't like how the center console was a gloss black, so we changed it to stealth as well. So it doesn't fingerprint up as much. It also protects it from scratches and smudges and all that stuff. So let us know what you guys think of the Tesla. If you've driven one, if you've ridden in one, maybe you haven't and you want to, let us know what you think in the comments. Overall, like I said, I absolutely love this thing. We've had it for months at this point. We're probably going to be bringing you some more of this content. Maybe we will try to road trip it and sit through the pain of sitting at superchargers. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and we will see you on the next car.
New clips, studio in the back. Numbers ran up, had to split it with the chaps. Realest in the city, in my record, a fact. But your man's only chat when he do it in the raps like squad go lost and don't really care what it cost them. You don't wanna cost them. My lifestyle awesome, couldn't decide if my gal wanted to, so I bought them. Don't run track, but I run up a check. Run, do it real big, gotta one up the next. Point to the sky with the one up, I'm blessed.